Now, an estimated 6,000 supporters of Daesh have returned to their home countries following the terror group's heavy losses in both Syria and Iraq. Now, a new study estimates that the UK has one of the highest numbers of returnees. It's led one government minister to suggest that the only way to deal with the fighters is to kill them before they return. Let's get more on this. I'm joined by Peter Williams, who's a lecturer at Liverpool John Moores University. Many thanks for joining us, Peter, on TRT World. How real do you think is the threat of returning IS fighters?
Well, I think it very much is a real threat. And the report which you quoted, I thought was very well put together and clearly an analytical one. But I would direct viewers to TRT to the interview last week, which the director of MI5, Andrew Parker, had with certainly the BBC and other media outlets. And he was able to give perhaps a more balanced view of the situation in relation to returnees from ISIS or so-called Daesh to the United Kingdom. He clearly, from the information that the security service had, was in a position to comment with some authority, it seemed, in relation to the estimated 130 plus had perhaps lost their lives in the fighting. Some had returned some years ago, and they are currently under surveillance or under some form of legal warrant or legal authority, which is overseen by either the security service or the police service, and which leaves several hundred which still are yet to return. And obviously, the report which you quite rightly have referred to is highlighting this as being a problem. But what I would say in relation to viewers to TRT is that in relation to the United Kingdom, the Act of Parliament, the Counter-Terrorism Security Act, that came into law 2 years ago, does allow some provisions for this. And one of them is a temporary exclusion order. And the temporary exclusion order can be affected and persons can be arrested. And where there's evidence to indicate they've been involved in activities that warrant prosecution, they could in fact be prosecuted. And this is what Andrew Parker has suggested is likely to happen. I don't agree with the comments that you've mentioned in relation to that MP. I don't think that is in a line that aligns at all with a Western democracy, which the rule of law is seen as being paramount and precedent. And the United Kingdom has a tradition of responding to terrorism in these situations via the criminal justice system, via the criminal justice model. And I think that is the way to go. And it's certainly what Andrew Parker is expecting to happen. So,
Peter, we are running out of time, unfortunately, but let me try and get one more question in here. We are definitely seeing a phenomenon with Daesh shrinking throughout the Middle East and Syria. Do you think the public should be celebrating or fearing the consequences of the particular caliphate ending? Well,
geographically, of course, ISIS, as you quite rightly said, are diminished. But in relation to the ideology, I'm afraid that isn't going to happen. We're still involved in what we call this religious wave of terrorism. Now, what may happen, I think you'll probably find that the people that have given their allegiance to ISIS, the fact that they don't exist in a geographical caliphate anymore, they may change their allegiances to Al-Qaeda, which is what happened some years ago, the other way around, after the death of Osama bin Laden. ISIS was the group which, if you like, benefited in relation to that. But we're in this wave of religious terrorism, as we call it. And to be perfectly frank with you and the viewers, we don't really know when this is going to end. I read a report at the weekend to indicate that we're actually in the fourth wave within this particular phenomenon, this religious terrorism wave, which started probably in '79 time, and we don't know when that is going to finish. So the fact that they don't exist or exist only in name only in this caliphate, I don't personally feel will make much difference at all.
OK. Peter, many thanks for your analysis. Peter Williams joining us there from Liverpool, John Moores University.